I am with Cedarville University in Southwest Ohio. We have about 3,500 students, service all of those students with both mail and print. 80% of our students live on campus, so our mail operation is quite large. We started in 2008 with production color. Got into that fairly early on, which has kind of saved our bacon now that black and white has kind of taken a nosedive in most places anyway. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we've been able to sustain and actually grow our operation over the past 7 years in the volatile climate that we live in. One of the things that One of the things that I saw really early on is we had, unlike, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, Curtis, sorry. Unlike Curtis, we actually have all these different departments housed under different vice presidents, so our marketing reports up to somebody else. I do postal and print, and I have a different vice president. We have all these different people across campus that had different functions. And I, too, saw the value that Curtis saw in getting the design team on our side. And I didn't have the ability to mandate that they're on our side. So some of the things that we do, and I'll talk about this a little bit more as I go on, but some of the things that we did were really to become a marketing arm for the university as a printer. And the internal partnerships that we have developed have created a lot of creative thinking amongst my staff, amongst the creative directors, as we hash things out and we have meetings and, you know, hey, how can we do this and how can we make it cool, and, you know, even in the mailing side, how much is this going to cost to mail? You know, on the front end of it, we're looking at mailing budgets and collaboration that was just not happening back in 2008. And ultimately, one of the things that we realized too is job security for you as an implant really relies on the success of your company as a whole. So buying into the mission, and Curtis spoke to this, one of the things that I talk to my staff a lot about is what is the mission of Cedarville University. And we are educating students to go out into the world and become future leaders. And I have our mission statement in my office, and we refer back to that a lot as we're making decisions. It's not just about my implant and what I need technology-wise or you know, personnel. It's actually how do I affect the university as a whole. One of the ways we get involved with that mission is using graphic interns. Again, the creative department is in a whole different division. I do have some walk-up customers, a lot of other nonprofit schools and things that come to ask. We live right across, or our university is right across the street from an elementary school, and they come and ask us to do banners and things like that. And I don't have a design staff, so what we do is hire graphic interns to come in, and every semester we have a graphic intern. Sometimes we get to keep them a couple semesters, but you know, we are always training up a new person, and it's buying into the mission and the educational aspect of the university, because the more I can be a part of the mission, the more important I am. The other thing is plant tours. We have a production design class that comes in, and I contacted the director of that program and asked him, hey, you know, we've got a really great digital print operation here. Would you be interested in touring it? And we are all digital. I don't think I said that at first, but anything offset does go off campus, but they bring them through our shop to look at what does a digital world look like. And I talked to them about designing for substrates, and I talked to them about bleeds, and I talked to them about packaging their files properly, and all of those things. And again, we're contributing to the educational aspect of the students. We are also a big part of the student recruiting effort. You know, what's another mission of the university? Another part of that mission is to bring students. We want students. So, you know, as a part of that marketing, we become a part of the recruiting effort through variable data and variable graphics and some really cool things out there. And also from a financial standpoint, we do a lot with donors, events and things that are coming up with our advancement division, and just really getting the word out about things that are happening at Cedarville. So just really becoming a part of that whole mission. And if I can go forward here. So who are our key partners? Well, first off, I would say administration. You have to be the advocate for your implant and for your staff. And for me, I have had conversations that are 1 minute long on a sidewalk when a vice president walks by and says, "Hey, Tammy, how are you?" "Hey, great. Did you hear about the new latex printer we put in?" Give them a 30-second spiel and move on. That is the type of stuff that they remember. "Oh, hey, I think they said they have a new printer over there." I talk to anybody that will listen to me, and I know they're busy, so I don't take a lot of their time, but it's kind of the elevator conversation. What can you do to get it out there, what the services are that you have to offer? Your staff is huge, vital. My staff gives me ideas. We talk. I really want to hear what they think. What are the things that they think are they hearing? I am at a management level, not necessarily on the front row, where they're hearing, "Hey, the customers are not really liking this," or "Hey, we're getting asked for this." We just moved into latex printing last fall, and part of the reason we did that is because our customers were saying, "We like your wide format, but we really need to be able to put stuff outside, and with what you're doing, we can't do that." So we brought a latex printer, and my staff was telling me this. So, you've got to listen to them and get them involved in the process, and even in the buying decisions. Take them with you, let them look at things, give you feedback, because there's not one person that knows everything, and somebody's going to have a suggestion or something that it's really going to be helpful to you. Marketing is probably the one key thing, and I know Curtis mentioned this too. Marketing drives print for us. You got to get creative when you don't have control. So what we did is our marketing department actually has the control of the brand, and they are the ones who really get upset when people are desktop publishing and they put out crap. So I knew that, and I heard that complaint, and I thought, there's got to be some way I can utilize that. So what we ended up doing is I said, "Creative director, what if I discount the work if it comes through you to the print shop? And if it comes directly from the customer, they're going to pay full price. But if it comes through you," and he's seeing brand control. And I'm going, okay, I got him now. So I'm talking to him, and he is loving it. And as we started educating our customers, we actually spend so much less time talking with customers on the phone going, "Your artwork will not work. You don't have any bleeds. The sizing, I'm sorry, we can't take, a 5x7 and make it a 6x12 or, whatever." You spend so much less time fixing files, and when you don't have a graphic design team in your area, that is a huge time consumer. So what we did is we shifted probably, I'm going to say 75% of the desktop publishing is now routing through the marketing department. And now they love us. They think, wow, this is a great deal for everybody. And for us, it saved us a bunch of time, because when the stuff comes from marketing, it's correct. We're not having to do file edits and stuff. The other partner that we have are obviously our heavy producers. For a university, that's your admissions department, your advancement division. There are a couple of other heavy, athletics is another one. So I started having conversations with all these different people and finding out what their needs are, because that's what we're there to do, is meet a need. It's not to reinvent and try to push something on them that they don't really want, but it's, okay, well, you want to recruit students. What's the best way to recruit students? And the creative director has all these great ideas, but he didn't have a way to really do it, and is outsourcing it. You just aren't going to get the variable data control that you really need. So we start bringing all this into conversations with admissions and advancement, and when we started out, we were doing about 100,000 impressions in color. We had like a C4000 or something from Canon, and we were doing very little, 8.5 by 11. That machine was a really early iteration, and it didn't like paper, so we couldn't do a whole lot on there. But as we moved into production color and our capabilities became a lot greater, we were actually able to start insourcing things, even if it wasn't variable data, but particularly if it was variable data. And anybody that's in variable data knows that it is a big, I mean, we were starting from the ground up. We had to figure out how are we going to communicate. We've got an IT department involved if there's a website. We've got the mailer involved for the list. We've got the graphic design department involved. We've got the post office involved to get the postage down there. And we've got the print shop involved. And how are we going to make all this work together? Well, one of our solutions was a web-to-print system, because we can all go in there and we can look and we can see and work with those things. But the other thing that was key was I found out that the marketing department was having a weekly meeting at 11 o'clock on Monday with the admissions office, who is by far our primary mailer. And I approached them and said, would it be possible for my post office supervisor and print shop supervisor to sit in on this meeting? Because I think it would help us to just kind of know what's coming down the pike, and it would. And my post office gal, she's got 25 years of experience, and maybe she can save you on the front end some of the problems with mailing. And they were like, you know, that's a great idea. So that was about 3 years ago. We have brought back work through that because they just didn't think we could do it, and they didn't know what our capabilities were. And so my people were going, why are you outsourcing that? That's something we can do. And they're going, oh yeah, we just, you know, kind of assumed that we would do it that way. So that's another strategy that we've used. I will say Konica Minolta is our primary vendor. We have another vendor on campus too, but that partnership is also key. You can create all of this and get your system set up and do everything, but if you don't have a good vendor backing you, then you're going to have problems. I mean, if you can't deliver, there's an issue. And we have been partnered with Konica for about 3 years now, and our relationship with them has just been a real positive in making all of this happen at Cedarville. I promise I won't talk much longer. So anyway, the result is, and this is kind of final, we've built trust. You know, we have become the source for questions about mailability, for questions about you know, printing, what's the best way to do it, those type of things. We have bent over backwards to service our marketing department and those heavy users like the admissions department. We want to make sure that those customers, we are serving them well, and that in turn has, you know, created a lot of loyalty. I hear from the vice president through channels, through the vice president of enrollment, who marketing reports up to, all the time I'm hearing comments, the print staff does an amazing job. I don't know what we'd do without the print staff. And I want to hear that, because when that outsourced guy comes along, I want those people to rise up and go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. You know, not just from with my own division, but other people to say that. You know, we have the credibility. Again, we have gone from about 100,000 8.5 by 11 black and white plain Jane prints to close to 1 million 13 by 19 in about a 7-year period. And most of our stuff we do, probably 80% of our work is postcard driven. Lots of postcards. Students love to get postcards with, you know, information on it regarding them. But we also do a lot of brochures. We have a very complicated piece that has, I don't know, 12 panels on it that folds down into a really small thing, and every single panel has something personalized. It has an admissions counselor's name. Say it's called an accepted student packet. So when a student is accepted at the university, it has actually, you know, this was the admissions counselor you dealt with. If you declared a major, this is the major program director, and, you know, here's a free T-shirt, here's a coupon to the bookstore. I mean, there's so much wrapped up in, you know, we fold it, put it in cellophane, send it through the mail. And these are students that have been accepted but not necessarily have agreed to come to Cedarville. So this is, again, a big marketing ploy. But I would agree with Curtis, probably if there's anything that you would take away from this session, I would say marketing drives print, and you've got to get involved there.